Hello guys, I am back from another video and today we're talking about Deku was the embodiment of hope and despair. So in the last video Deku, we told all of you about Izuku's origins, specifically that Izuku was born after his mother got pregnant from a client because back in the day, Izuku's mother was selling her body because let's just say her life has pretty much gone to shit. So after Izuku was born and after cleaning him up, Izuku was brought to the quirk doctor and Inko was told of Izuku's quirk. His hopeful side allows him to basically create diamond-like structures or diamond-like crystals and also to basically influence a person, turning them good and even turning villains back to the good side. She was pretty happy about that. Well, the part about the diamonds, because if she uses Izuku a little bit, she could become rich. But she was also told of Izuku's other side, his more malicious and villainous side, his despair form, or also known as Okami. Okami has the ability to create knives. These knives are basically sentient, and when thrown, they basically almost act as piranhas, coming in swarms and basically attacking the person or the enemy in gigantic swarms basically or groups, basically slashing the person and ripping them apart limb from limb. God dang it. It's just my cousin's ringtone. Yeah, it's annoying. Anyway, Izuku was also his dumb dark version or Okami also has the ability to basically do the opposite, which when Izuku or his dark form or Okami influences a person, they basically become evil. So after that, she basically was given these special pills, which she has to give Izuku every night to stay away from that evil side, or stop him from turning him into that evil side. So after a while of using his quirk and using it for making more diamonds and also making them rich, Izuku was pretty much rich, seriously rich, to the point that he became an idol because of his mother. She wanted Izuku to become famous, but because of that, Izuku was neglected. Only his maids took care of Izuku, unlike her, Izuku's mother. She just mostly used that money for just shopping and doing fun, mostly just going to parties. Izuku doesn't want to disappoint his mother, so he just still wants to become a hero in just like in canon, but wants to do it so he can basically be a light to this darkness. But for his evil side, he wants revenge on his own mother, which neglected him. He's basically the opposite of Izuku, wanting to become a villain instead. So after that, we showed the present day of Izuku, basically after a concert. So it was not really important all that much, but the most important part is that it's basically the last day, or at least tomorrow is going to be the last day of his middle school life, where he's gonna be going to high school. So yeah, so let's talk about what happens next. So Izuku woke up as he starts getting changed by his maids. After he's done changing his clothes, Izuku starts eating breakfast and started going to school. So when he gets to school, Izuku saw all of his classmates excited to not excited to be going somewhere or something like that. I meant they're basically excited because they're gonna be going to high school. Specifically, they're going to be going to become heroes. Specifically, Bakugo the most. He wants to become a hero because he needs to become a hero so he can get money. Izuku doesn't like that, but Izuku just ignored it. So when the teacher arrived, just like in canon, all of his students are basically like excited, but tells them to settle down. Just like in canon, he tells everybody to basically write on this paper, but he throws all of them as he basically explains that all of them want to become heroes, but one of them, or at least two, are going to be going to UA High. These two people were Izuku Midoriya and Bakugo Katsuki. As Bakugo said this, "Yeah, you goddamn busted D-listers, I'm gonna become the number one hero just like with Izuku. And all of you are just gonna be staying with these stupid A rank heroes. Stupid, more like B rank or whatever, like lower than that." As everybody started saying, "It doesn't mean that you're better than us just because you have a powerful quirk." As Izuku just calms everybody down and tells Bakugo to stop acting like that or he stops being friends with him. Bakugo was pretty shocked but doesn't want Izuku to basically stop being friends with him. The reason why is because of his status. Because of his mean nature, most people don't like him. But because of Izuku being friends with him, it somewhat makes everybody start, well, somewhat liking him. Or should I say fearing him, because Izuku is Bakugo's best friend. So, yeah, thanks to Izuku, he's pretty much untouchable. But if Izuku leaves him, well, they're basically, well, specifically Bakugo's doomed because everybody's gonna be paying him a visit, specifically to the ER. As in ER, he's going to be beaten up if Izuku just basically leaves him and stops being friends with him. So yeah, that's why he doesn't want Izuku to stop being friends with him because of that. And also, if they were to stop being friends, well, his status as basically being an idol and a celebrity is basically causing him to, or basically, well, stop being famous in school and also in the media. Yeah. So, after class, Izuku starts leaving and goes back home, seeing All Might. All Might said this. So, young Midoriya, are you ready? As Izuku says this. "Yeah, All Might. Just let me change my clothes." So, after Izuku changes his clothes, Izuku looks in the mirror and sees Okami. As Okami says this. "So you're training with All Might again. Why won't you decide to let me have a turn this time? Just let me have a turn at least. I just want to do whatever I want." As Izuku says this. "Because you're a villain. You're just the dark side of me. And I don't want you ruining everybody's, well, life or anybody's life. That is why I want to protect everybody from you." As he says this. "But you know that you're me and I'm you. We're the same person. So you're basically trying to defeat yourself." As Izuku said this. "Alright, guess I'll be leaving." As he starts screaming profanity, saying to Izuku that he can go F himself. So, after that, Izuku started his training for the entrance exam very soon. So, after a bit of training, Izuku was tired as All Might said this. "So, Midoriya, are you okay?" As Izuku says this. "Yeah, I'm just a bit tired." So, Izuku, after resting a little bit, Izuku gets a phone call. This phone call was wait first, was from his producer, specifically for his, well, idol career. So, after looking at it, it's a call or a text message. I meant a text message. The test the test God dang it, my dyslexic ass. God dang it. I meant the text message said that Izuku should be going to the a specific area, specifically the mall, because apparently he's supposed to do some charity work, specifically as like a figurehead or like a mascot for that. So Izuku tells All Might goodbye as he starts going to the mall and gets changed. So after he arrives there, many people started getting his autograph, including one person. This person was a girl. She had pure white hair, but it also has red. Her basically she basically has half red, half white hair. As she says this, "Hello, my name is Todoroki." As Izuku says this, hello, Miss Todoroki. So, are you looking for an autograph, or you're just?" As she says this, "Oh, it's just my sister. She wanted me to ask you for an autograph. She's currently busy." As Izuku says this, "Oh, okay, so what's her name?" As she says this, her name is. Wait for a second. Her name is Fuyumi. As Izuku says this, "Okay, Fuyumi what?" As she says this, Fuyumi. Fuyumi Todoroki. As he says this, "Okay, here." As she says this, thank you. I should be leaving." As after she leaves, Izuku was done with the charity. As Izuku stretches his back, as Izuku says this, "Ugh, finally." As Izuku was approached by his producer, as his producer said this, "So, it's finally done, so you can leave now." As Izuku says this, "Finally, see ya." As he says this, "Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Next time you're gonna be going to another concert. Apparently it's about like a cancerous child or something. Some sort of charity for like this organization." As Izuku says this, "Oh, okay, see ya." So, after Izuku leaves, Izuku goes back to training with All Might again. It's basically the next day. So, after a while, it's basically the last day, which is the last day of, well, finally the time where the entrance exam is going to come up, where Izuku was training again with All Might, as All Might says this, "So, Izuku, are you ready?" As Izuku says this, "Ready." So, All Might gets a piece of his hair, as he says this, "Eat this." As Izuku says this, "So, I just need to eat this, then I can get your, um, your quirk one for all, right?" As he says this, "Yes." So, Izuku eats the hair, as Izuku feels immense power, like his quirk is surging. But when Izuku looked at a glass, which is reflective, Izuku sees his other self screaming, saying, "Stop! Stop! Stop! Why is this happening to me? What did you do?" As Izuku sees that his eyes are burning red instead of his usual purple. But after it stopped, the mirror or the reflection turns into just Izuku, the hopeful self. Izuku thought that he finally disappeared. Izuku sighs and thought it was weird. As All Might snaps him, I meant, as All Might snaps him back to reality, as All Might said this, "So, Izuku, are you okay?" As Izuku says this, "Oh, I'm okay, I'm just, let's just say I'm kinda tired." As All Might says this, "Oh, okay. So, are you gonna be going home?" As Izuku says this, "Oh, shit. Sorry, All Might, I should be going home. So, after Izuku goes home, it's basically bedtime. Izuku starts brushing his teeth and finally looks at his reflection. His reflection was just him, Izuku, the hopeful self. There is no longer his dark and malicious self until a few seconds later. Izuku sees that his reflection was different. It was him again, as he was angry. His eyes are basically fueled with rage. Fueled with rage as he says this. What did you do? As he slams he slams his fist into the glass, almost looking like he was about to break it. As Izuku says this, I don't know, as he says this. So, if you won't tell me, guess I'll start getting out of here. As he starts trying to get out of his prison. But Izuku was already, or at least already drank his, pill, the thing that keeps that thing away. Wait a second. So, after he said that, specifically that he cannot try and touch him, or at least can't touch him in any way, because Izuku already drank the pill, or the drug, as he says this. He was mad, but also tired. His eyes, specifically, they looked like they had worsened. They were dark. Specifically, he looked like he had eye bags, as he says this. I'm tired. Just let me sleep. As Izuku goes to bed. So, after Izuku does that, it's finally the day of the entrance exam, where Izuku is finally going to become a hero, or just a hero in training for now. So, wait for a second. So, it's finally the day where they're gonna be going to the entrance exam. So, Izuku started going off and goes into the limousine. When everybody saw the limousine and saw Izuku, they started crowding around him, saying that they're big fans of Izuku's work. But Izuku just tells them to back off nicely, as Izuku starts going into the practical exam. Not practical, I meant the written exam, So, Izuku does it pretty easily because, Izuku's tutoring from, specifically some really really expensive teachers that are specifically, good in, math and other types of, things like that. Ah, shit. Wait for a second. Sorry about that. It was a glitch. So after Izuku does the written exam, Izuku started going to the other area, specifically for the practical exam. As everybody sees President Mike, he basically explains what are going to be these pointers, specifically the robots, as it's basically just like in canon, except for Ida, which Ida is mysteriously not there yet. So, unfortunately, Ida's not going to be in this episode for now. Unfortunately, he's going to be in the the private exam. I can't remember the name, so I'm just going to call it the private exam. So, after Izuku does that, it's going to be the practical exam proper, which everybody started getting ready and goes into their specific areas. So, everybody started making a way for Izuku, as All Might said this. Yeah, you better listen. As everybody started getting pissed off by Bakugo, as Izuku says this. Can you at least stop doing that, Bakugo? Because everybody seems mad about you. Sorry about that. It's rain. I'm really sorry about the noise, or at least the background noise, because it's currently raining in my area. And it seems to be a big storm. Yeah. Sorry. So, everybody started making a way for Izuku as Izuku gets ready. As President Mike says this: 3, 2, 1, go! As everybody started going off. So, everybody started attacking the regular robots. As for Izuku, Izuku started creating crystal swords and creates a crystal arm. Izuku's crystal arm basically almost works as like a gauntlet, as Izuku creates crystal wings. Actually, not wings, it's more like wing, because Izuku only needs one to fly. Izuku doesn't really need wings for flying specifically, but Izuku only does it for an aesthetic choice. It's just like me. So, these wings basically act as like levitators, I guess. It's almost like a magnetic field which allows Izuku to basically fly. So, Izuku starts creating almost crystal or diamond spears. So Izuku started throwing them at the 1-pointers and 3-pointers as they get destroyed. As Izuku creates swords made out of diamond-like crystals, as Izuku starts slicing them in half, causing them to die instantly, or not die, more like destroy, like get destroyed easily. So, after Izuku does that, it's finally time for the 0-pointer to appear. As Principal Nezu says this: alright, Izuku Midoriya over there seems to be super overpowered, so I guess it's time for me to activate my most powerful weapon. Or should I say, the most powerful pointer, the 0-pointer. As he presses the button, as the 0-pointer appears. Izuku, when he heard that, Izuku started running away, because Izuku's probably not that powerful yet. As Izuku looks over and sees the girl from the charity thing. It's Todoroki. As Izuku sees her getting ready to be crushed. As Izuku says this: "No!" As his other self appears behind him without the reflection. It seems that nobody, or at least anybody, can see him, his other self. As he says this: "So, it seems that little girl over there is about to be killed. So, how would you let me help you?" As Izuku says this: "What do you mean by that?" As he says this: "Let me do all of the moving. Let me be in control this time. I can save her. Okay?" As he smiles sadistically, as Izuku says this: "Fine." So, Izuku lets Okami take control, as Okami laughs out loud. His eyes, instead of being the usual blue, wait for a second, or at least a blue-ish, green, instead, it turns purple. His eyes turn a almost dark purple. As Okami said this: "Now, it's time for you to die, you piece of garbage. You damn rust bucket." As he starts creating tons and tons of these knives, as Izuku throws them at the 0-pointer, or at least Okami, as these knives barrel into the 0-pointer's body, as they started acting almost like piranhas, started chomping on the metal, as the 0-pointer gets destroyed in an instant, as Okami basically summons back his, knives, almost like boomerangs, as they disappear in smoke. As Izuku, or Okami, carries Todoroki, as Todoroki says this: Is that... Wait, Izuku, you're here? Uh, uh, you're... As Izuku says this, or Okumi. Yeah, whatever. You damn reckless child. I'll be bringing you to the nurse's office or whatever. As she says this. Rude but okay. So, after Okumi brings Todoroki to the wait for a second, to the nurse's office, Recovery Girl said this. That was completely reckless. What was that? I thought you're... I'm just too tired. I'm just too angry at you. Like, seriously. What the heck was that quirk? I thought you had, like, a... whatever quirk. Like, that crystal quirk or whatever. As he says this. Yeah, but it's not Izuku. The name's Okami. As she says this. Wait. You're that other personality. The one that represents... As he says this. Yeah, I'm what... I'm guessing that you don't really know me, Miss Todoroki, right? As Todoroki says this. Is it not really you, Izuku? As he says this. No, I'm just his other personality. You can call me Okami. I'm the embodiment of despair. And that's the name of my quirk. The only reason I decided to save you is because of that damn idiot. As Izuku tells Okami to say stop and stop calling him an idiot. As Okami said this. Fine, whatever, I'm gonna be leaving. As Okami leaves, as he lets Izuku, let Izuku have his control back. As Izuku says this. Oh, thank God. Wait. I thought you were about to... As Okami said this. I don't really care anymore. I'll just let you take over for now. I will gladly take over you if you let me have some fun. Okay? If you want my help, then just ask. I promise that I won't try and kill anybody, I swear. Or turn anybody to the side of evil or whatever. As Izuku says this. Are you sure, Okami? As Okami said this. Come on! We're the same person! You really don't trust me? As Izuku says this. I don't trust you all that much because you're just the evil version of me. You're basically the opposite. As he says this. Oh, come on! Izuku just looks at him. As he says this. Fine. You're too boring. So, after Izuku leaves, Todoroki started feeling weird. Specifically, that she felt something for Izuku. That she had a crush on him. Ever since she was saved by Izuku, she, had feelings for him. After Okami specifically, Izuku, the other version of Izuku, saved her, she finally knows about her feelings towards Okami. So, when she started leaving, after the entrance exam, she goes home as she sees her father, also known as Endeavor, the abusive father in the series, like the worst. Not really the worst, maybe like third-ish place, I guess. So, as Endeavor looks at Todoroki, he said this. Alright, I need you to start training, Todoroki, because I want you to become the most powerfulest hero ever. After all, you are the daughter of the number 2 hero. As Todoroki said this. Final man. Wait for a second. As Endeavor takes wait for a second again. takes Todoroki and says this. What did you say, you dumb brat? As he says this, I told you that I'm not a stupid weapon for you to just use. I'm my, I'm my own person. I'm not a soldier. As he says this. Never talk to me like that ever again. As he slaps Todoroki across the face. As she says this. You're not my father. As he says this. Say that again or I'll disown you. I'll just throw you away. As Todoroki starts going back to her room in a fit of rage. As she locks the door and cries, saying that Endeavor's the worst person ever. Who would ever like him? Unfortunately, the media, because after all, he is the number 2 hero. So yeah, let's go back to Izuku. Izuku basically came back home, and after changing his clothes, he goes to sleep. So yeah, that's basically what happened in this episode. So yeah, I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe so you can see more of my videos. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.